Ciao friends, my name is Joey. I'm so happy. I just came from the mailbox and my dollar bead box and my dollar bead bag were in the mailbox, and I'm feeling really good today. I've finally stopped coughing so much, and I'm just so happy for what I got. Look at this fresh green. It's like so alive in spring. I'm just super excited about the April 2025 dollar bead box. For those of you that are not familiar with this, this is a bead club. You have to be a member either by paying an annual fee, which is kind of, if you're in America, you understand that concept because we have Costco and Sam's and those sort of price clubs, but you can also become a member by subscribing to the dollar bead box. It is one of my favorite, most inspiring boxes. This was one of my choice boxes years before I was on YouTube, and I just love it. And the cool thing about it is it's really reasonable, it's high quality, but if you're a member, you can go onto their website and shop as much as you want, and everything is $1. So if you want more of anything that you got in the box or the bag, everything is $1. In fact, I just placed a personal order, and I don't really order a lot of beads because I have so many beads, but I can't stay off this sweet. It's just a sweet, wonderful little website. So, and again, if you're not familiar, these strands here, these 8 strands that are lined up here, this is the add-on for only $8 a month, the dollar bead bag. They are check glass strands in 3 and 4 millimeter. So I'm going to start here. We'll start with the 3 millimeter, and I'll just tell you the names, and I'm going to pull these off my mat as I unbox because I want to make a bracelet. I want to do a really fun bracelet. I'm dying over a few of these elements. They're just so perfect. So the first 3 millimeter strand is called Opaque Chartreuse. The next 3 millimeter strand, I love this. I love this color that I got. You would have either gotten a gold sage luster or a green with a copper wash, and I got the green with the copper wash, and it's a really soft, like a seafoam green, and some of them the wash is quite heavy on them. So for such a small bead, what an amazing finish on that bead. It's so pretty. And then the next 3 millimeter strand is called Watermelon, and it looks just like a watermelon with that kind of dark pink, the green, and even some of the white for that rind color in the watermelon. And then the last one is so beautiful. It's called Copper Orange. It's kind of metallic, and again, it's such a small bead, but look at that pop of color. I'm just crazy about it. And then in the 4 millimeter strands, this is so cool. This is called Opaque Yellow Nebulous Luster, and it really does, like, it just glistens. It's just absolutely beautiful, and you see the yellow kind of dappled with the green. It's such a fresh spring color. And for those of you that don't know me, I do have an interior design background, and when I see greens like this, even though green is not one of my favorite colors, but green is a neutral. It goes with everything. Look in nature, like green is the backdrop. So you think about pinks, purples, yellows, whites, blacks. You can put green with anything, and it really adds life to, especially to a jewelry piece. But also like in flower arranging and in home decor, a little bit of green is just so alive and fresh and pretty. So this box makes me really happy from that standpoint. This one is, I think, one of my favorite check glass colors. I don't have this color. I'm not even sure if I've ever seen it. It's called Key Lime Lumi, and it really is luminescent. It has almost an opalescent color to it, look to it, but in that beautiful green. And that is truly a soft, neutral green that you could just put with everything. I don't know. I need a little spacer for the design that I have in mind, and I might even gravitate toward that. It's so pretty. And then the next one, there were 2 different colors. When you get this, you would have either gotten the Crystal Honey AB or the Crystal Vintage Gold. And I think that I got the Crystal Vintage Gold. It's that very like old world, like old Etruscan gold. So it's not super shiny like a metallic. It does have sparkle to it, but it's a little bit softer. I totally love the one that I got. I'm not even sure what the other one looks like, but I do love this. That is like, I could have 10,000 feet of this gold check glass bead and never complain at all. And then the last of the dollar bead bag, 4mm strand, you would have either gotten rose copper or pumpkin spice, and I got the rose copper. If you look really close, you can see the rose and the copper wash intermingled on this bead, and I absolutely love that color. Love, love, love it. I don't know if I'm going to use that in my bracelet. I have gotten this bag and box before where the pieces look so great together that I just did like a multi-strand and just kept them all together because they're just beautiful that way. So what you see here is the April 2025 dollar bead box. So I'm going to start with the strands that were in the box, and this is just absolutely gorgeous. This is a 6mm check fire polish bead, and in your box you would have either gotten the green gold lined Maria or the peridot with copper, and I am pretty sure I got the green and gold lined Maria, and this is going in my project. I absolutely love this bead so much. It almost looks like natural stone even though it's glass. Each bead, like this one, is honey colored with a little opaque white. Each one has its own little story. Look at this one. It's almost like a mint with the white. This one has the honey color. Like each one is a little different, just the nature of the glass, but still the faceting is there. I absolutely love that. I'm going to leave this one here because I'm pretty sure that's going in my project. And then the next one is one of my favorite check glass beads of all time. This is the Lucerna bicone, and this is called Topaz. Isn't it stunning? It's like a really rich gold. It's like the color of honey. That's also a really neutral color. And I've said this before, I just love the geometry of these bicones because you get all the cool angles of a bicone, of sort of that diamond look, but it's pressed glass, so it's very smooth. There's no sharp edges like sometimes on a crystal bicone. So I think that might even go into my first project. And then I have a love affair with these types of beads. There's some over here as well. I actually created a separate organizer in my bead organizing because I started to collect these. This is a 6mm check glass turbine bead, and this is a white chartreuse mix. So it's quite, this one doesn't have, some of the turbine beads have a table cut faceting around the center of the bead. This one is like a bumpy center. They are just so beautiful. They have almost the look of a UFO or like a little flying saucer. I don't know, they add a lot of dimension, and they're just really an interesting shape. I love those. I really, really love those, and it's such a pretty color. And then the next one is a druck. A druck is a smooth round glass bead, no facets or anything. And this one is 4mm, and it's opaque chartreuse. Very, very pretty. And then this is also so pretty. This is a 6mm check fire polish, and it's a white topaz green mix. Oh, you know what? I think that I mixed these up. I think these are both 6mm. I think this is the white topaz green mix, and I think that this one is the green gold lined Maria. That is what it is. Or you would have gotten peridot with copper, but clearly I got the green gold lined Maria. I mixed up two beads on the list. So again, this is the white topaz green mix, and I just love it. And then I actually love this one too. I was looking at maybe doing both of these in my bracelet project. I'm just not sure till I start stringing. But so once again, this is the green gold lined Maria, and you may have gotten a peridot with copper, which I don't have here. Those are just so pretty. And then the last of the strands is this 4mm check glass druck in olive, and it's just, you know, a smooth round, just absolutely beautiful. If you like smaller jewelry, you could use it for that. This is such a neutral green. You could really string this or put this with anything, and it would add a little, you know, freshness to your design. So I love that. And then This is a 15-0 check glass seed bead in spring green. It is so beautiful. I'm not going to open the jar, but I love 15-0 beads. I actually don't have a lot of them. They're a little bit hard to find. At least in my area, the craft stores do not carry 15-0 seed beads. So I am thrilled to get this. I think that is absolutely a wonderful addition. If you've been around me, you know that I adore seed beads. I really love them. They are powerful in design. They can really change the look of things, add length to things, give space where space is needed. You can cluster them for highly textured elements in your pieces, and I just love them. So when the bead companies put in seed beads, it just always makes me so happy. And then I'm gonna jump
This
over
one is
here.
the
Green opal with the travertine wash. The travertine finish is one of my favorite finishes on check glass, and this is an 8mm check glass dark olive fire polish bead. That's also a really nice neutral color. And then look at these, you guys. I love these. So for me, if you've been around my channel, you know that I'm really loving pearl designs with Baroque pearls and stick pearls and freshwater pearls, pearls that have unusual shapes. And I absolutely love this type of check glass to go with those more natural elements, and we're going to get to it. I think they were thinking the same thing as me. I'll show you what else they put in the box that I've never seen in the dollar bead box, but these are called acid etched bicone beads, and they are just absolutely stunning. I am definitely going to go order some more of these. I love them. And then we got some little check glass cats, and this is a pretty common check glass bead. It's a button bead. See, my wire might be too big for the hole. No, I got it. But what's unusual about this is that this is a crystal with a copper verdigris wash on it. So it is just really, really pretty. And it does look like a little button, but you actually can turn these into buttons for bracelet closures. If you put your stringing material, like your 49 strand, through here and draw it together at the bottom and crimp it there, or if you knot it with like a Brazilian waxed cord, then this actually can be a button closure, and I use them for that sometimes. And then there is a tulip mix. There's like a few different colors. It's different golds and coppers. Very pretty. And then another one of my favorite beads. This is a check glass turbine bead, and this is white opal with the travertine. So this is this one is quite small. This is a 9mm, but this has the table cutting facets around the middle. I don't know if the camera's focusing and if you can see. And then the turbine part is at the top and bottom. So doesn't it look like an old-fashioned top, like a spinning top that kids would play with, or even like a little spaceship? I don't know. I love those. Like I said, the bumpy ones that are here and this, I have a special organizer for those, and I think I might use these in my project, or at least a couple of them. I love those. And then we got these check glass melon beads in spring green. They're fluted a little bit, and they're almost disc-like. It's not a true melon because they're a little bit flat. They're almost disc-like, but what a fabulous spacer that would be. And then I saved the best for last, this filigree brass butterfly. Isn't it gorgeous? There are so many connection points. They did one of these in their box last year, and I embellished it with wire down the middle and gave the butterfly like a little tail. They are so much fun to play with, and you have all these connections. So on last year I did a Y necklace, and I made my butterfly the center of the Y because I connected here and here, so he was like at a diagonal, and I'm going to use him, I think, this year as my charm on my bracelet. I'll see. It's a little bit big, but I don't know. I really like, I'm going to play with it. I love these. I actually just ordered another one of those. And then we got a check glass table cut dragonfly. What a stunning color. It's the perfect match to these beads that I'm in love with. It's olive opal, I can't talk, olive opal bronze wash. So you see like all the different colors and layers, and I just love how the dragonfly on both sides is embossed and gold washed right in, or bronze, is it bronze washed? Bronze washed So pretty. Oh my goodness. Definitely putting that in my project. And then I do not want to forget the natural pearl chip beads. I love these. I love all the shapes. Oh my, I just see this one if I can get this one out. This one looks like it's still under the water in the ocean. I mean, I just love chip beads. They're very textural. So pretty. I mean, each one has such a beautiful, organic, natural shape, and they make such an impact when you string them together. And I even like to put a little tiny 15-0 seed bead in between my chips. So I don't know if I'm going to do this bright green. I might. I was thinking gold in case I want to do the gold butterfly. But that's the thing about dollar bead box and bag. They are curated so that everything goes together and the possibilities are endless and the value is amazing. So let me clean up just a little bit and make some selections of what's going to go in my project, and I will be right back. I have chosen this fluorite color of my Soft Flex 49 strand. It's so pretty with all the greens. It's a very soft neutral green, and I have put a number 2 crimp tube also from Soft Flex on that wire and 9 little gold seed beads, and I'm going to start my bracelet by making a loop, and I'm going to use my magical crimping plier and just get my little bracelet started. Sometimes I will clamp off one end and string for my pattern, you know, so that I can work from both ends. But today I decided to go ahead and start on one end, and I've pulled from my stash this little, I think this came from Allegory Gallery, and these are just little Tibetan spacers. I always like to pull a few things from my stash to personalize my piece, and I really love using things that I bought because I feel if I bought it, I love it. So I'm just going to get a crimp right in the end of this and create a little stringing pattern. And I want to do something a little different with these turbine beads, just a little something different to showcase them. So I have my bead crimped, and I think I'm going to start with one of these check glass 6mm rounds and see if my cut end will go through the hole. Oh, it did. That makes me so happy because especially with the magical crimping plier, it's completely hidden how this bracelet will be held together. So I'm going to do a few of these with these little disc spacers in between. And I have put those little 15-0 seed beads and some galvanized 11-0 seed beads in my little tray. And I think I'm going to go into a little section now of these chip beads. And I think I'm going to try to dot them with the green instead of the gold. Just see if the 15-0 shows up. So I'm just going to do a chip, a 15-0, a chip, a 15-0, and get a little section, like maybe half an inch. Let's see. Oh, it's really pretty. Okay, let me get some on here and I'll show you what it looks like. I love that. And let's see. I think from here I'm going to do just one of these. And okay, you guys, I'm going to make a funky little component. I've taken another piece of that same bead stringing wire and I've strung 12 of my 11-0 seed beads down to the middle of the wire, and then I put both strands through that spacer bead. And then I'm going to take one of my turbine beads and feed it on one strand and then feed the other strand back through it in the opposite direction, so it looks like that. And I just want to pull everything down and keep everything centered. So just pull, 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 straighten, pull till it's down in the center. Okay, so far my little component looks like that, and now I'm going to feed on like probably 8 seed beads. I'll start with 8 on each side, and I'm going to let those drop down like that, and then I'm going to take another turbine bead and do that same thing. Whoops, I don't want to lose my seed beads. Feed it on and feed this wire in the opposite direction and pull it down. And the goal here is to have just the right amount of seed beads. Let's see if I guessed, so that they don't touch, and it's perfect. So just like lines them up, and then I'm going to repeat that same thing on this side, on this end, to make this a component. So I'm going to pull those together, feed both strands through another one of those little spacer beads, and just pull it down centered on that little okay, so I think I'm going to do pull this down nice and tight. I've got 10 seed beads. Do I have 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Got 11 on that one. 10 seed beads on each strand, and then I'm going to feed on a number 2 crimp tube on one strand and do that same thing, send the opposite end through the crimp tube and pull. And I think that I'm going to maybe change up my toggle closure. I'm going to finish stringing my pattern, but my idea was to maybe put the T-bar through here and have a really fancy bracelet closure. That's what I think I'm going to do. That is what I think I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is set this little component aside and kind of get my stringing finished, and then I'll decide if I need to make adjustments to that. But isn't that a cool little element, and doing a little something different? So this stringing it this way, you really see the sides, like the table cutting facets on those beads. I just love it. I think I'm going to go back to a little small section of chip beads here. Okay, I think that's going to be about the right length. And so what I'm going to do is crimp this, grab a crimp tube, and feed this right on to that loop and back down through my crimp tube and through a couple of beads if it will go. Just going to pull this down right in the middle. Make it pretty small, but I do still want it to move. This little crimp tube has an issue. There, I got it. Let me check my length. Oh, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to come right here with my magical crimping plier and put a crimp right there. So it's a little tricky because I need to reach my magical crimping plier inside the loop and pull both of these, but this is like the same way, if you've seen my other videos, I like to make little ring components, and that's kind of the same. So just go slow, pull it as tight as you can. First, to make sure, the first thing to do is make sure that your crimp tube is right in the center of the plier, and I can feel that it is, and now I pull it tight before I crimp. Now crimp down. There. And then, say you have to work inside the loop on this type, but it's doable. Just get my plier in the opposite direction and centered, and you know, like, it's a little tricky because I'm making a loop with seed beads, so I don't want to crush any of my seed beads. And then once I have it in there and I've crimped it in both directions, then I'm just going to rotate my little loop that way. And when I take it away, I have a really pretty little bead. And you guys who have been here before know that I save these little scraps. I have a little scrap bag on my work cart because I make like little ring connectors and I do things with my little scraps. Okay, look at that. Ooh, that's so pretty and so different. Oh, I just love it. Okay, and so now I'm just going to bring in some jump rings, and I'm going to add my T-bar on this side, and I actually love these little squares to make dangles out of. I love them for other things. I have a little bag of those, so that doesn't have to be a toggle. I see geometry in that. So I'm going to put a jump ring in here, add the little T-bar on this end, close it really well, and I'm going to try. I don't know if 2 jump rings will fit. A lot of times on a toggle clasp, 2 jump rings do not fit through the hole. Let's see if it will. I like the look of it. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it does fit. Okay, so I'm going to do double architecture to it. And then let's see how this is going to do. This comes around and pulls through that loop. And look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So now I don't know if I really want the butterfly on here. I think it's a little bit big for that. But I do feel like this needs a dangle. So let's see. I have 1 turbine bead left. Do this little turbine bead and one of my spacer beads and a little stack of chips on top of that with the 15-0 seed beads in between, just the way that I did on my bracelet. Just top it off with one of the gold seed beads. So all the elements that are in my bracelet design are in my little charm. And I'm just going to come right here and do a wire wrapped loop. Okay, so I have this pretty little dangle, and I can add it here. I could add it here. Oh, it's pretty right there. That's where it's going to go. So I'm just going to open this jump ring, and I might need to get a larger jump ring, but let me see if this one will work. So what I like to do, if you haven't seen my trick, is put my jump ring over the whole circumference of the bracelet. So I'm going to have to wiggle it in there between the chip bead and the check glass, and then put my charm on. And let me close the jump ring really well, and I'll show you why I do that instead of hooking it through a loop or making it stationary. I discovered this little technique because I do a lot of knotting, and a lot of times on a knotted piece you don't really have loops, you have knots. And now I do this on everything, because now no matter which way I pick my bracelet up, this charm goes around 365 degrees. It will never get stuck. Whether I grab my bracelet like this or whether I go this way, the charm falls wherever I need it to fall. This is so pretty. Let me pull my other bracelets out of the way and put this on. This is so pretty. It has so many gorgeous textures, and it's very it's neutral, but it's also fresh and spring, so like you could layer this with other things. There we go. Oh wow, look at that. Isn't that so pretty? And as it moves around, there's just something beautiful and interesting all the way around on this piece. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love the charm being in a little bit of an unexpected place, and I like the textures. This is just a stunning piece. It was a little bit of a design on the fly today because I got a couple of other boxes, so I have work to do, but I really love to make a piece when I get a box, especially when it's this beautiful. So I'm going to put some pictures up at the end. I thank you all so much for watching. Check the description box. I do have a discount code for the Dollar Bead Club if you are interested in either paying, I think it's a $35 annual fee if you don't want to get the monthly subscription, but you do want access to the website. Oh my goodness, you guys, it's so many check glass buttons for $1 a button. And I found beautiful pearls on that website this year when I started my pearl series. So it is one of my favorites. So check the description box. You have to tap more depending on your device, and then usually more again. And all the information is there, my favorite tools, my spacers, anything that I've used that I know where I got it, that I can share the link. I put that there for you. And I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. That helps support my work. And I hope everybody's safe and well and having fun on your beading mats. See you in the next video.